What is there to be a fanboy of? A piece of hardware that's obsolete the year after it comes out, and then you keep making the same type of game that really doesn't look better, but it's going to cost me more money.
So you bought Oblivion Remaster?
Well, first I played it on Game Pass because I have PC Game Pass, but they use a different, I don't even know how to describe it, because like I have an old PC, so trying to run the game, I have a 1070 and it runs the game, but I have to use like the what is it called? You have to basically change the resolution. It makes the game look fuzzy as shit, but it runs good. It's it kind of pixelates your game. It's a lower resolution, but it's a resolution scaling technique. I forget what they call it, but it's just, from what I understand, and it's both versions of the Game Pass and the Steam version. The longer the game runs, the engine starts breaking itself, just like any other Bethesda game that's ever come out. Jesus. So like pretty soon you'll just go through a door and then it'll just crash. Your game will crash and it'll give you 300 errors. Do you want to send these errors to fucking whoever? Yeah, sure. They're reading them. So I never send them, but it's because from my research, Unreal Engine 5, people don't know how to use it correctly yet. And they also, with Oblivion, they tried to use as much original code as possible and then just kind of give it a fresh coat of paint. So some of the jank is not all jank, but actually, no, it's really not a janky playing game. It plays really well. And they fixed some of the kind of clunkiness of it, but they didn't change weapon scaling and things, or like item scaling and stuff like that, which is annoying. But if you're not familiar, say I'm level 4 and I go into a dungeon and I pick up the fucking Saber of West, right? So the Saber of West does 5 frost damage and 5 fire damage every time I strike with it. Okay.
Badass.
Now, well, actually, no. Let's say you did that. You went and you found the Saber of West at level 4. And now, let's say in my playthrough, when I went in there, I'm level 6 and I find it. When I find it, it's the Saber of Greater West, and it does 7 points of fire damage and 7 points of frost damage per strike. Because when every 5 or so levels, whenever you find a piece of loot, its stats will be different, but it will be to whatever level it is when you find it. And that sucks, because that doesn't incentivize you to go and find if you want to go get Chill Rend, which is like one of the best swords in the game, you don't want to pick it up until you're like level 25. Otherwise, it won't be the best version it can be. So it kind of is, and there's a lot of weapons like that, and that's one of the biggest problems people have with. They had it with Oblivion, then they have it with that problem now. I think the biggest problem most people have, though, is how unstable the game is. It's not very stable. It looks beautiful, though. God, I wish I had a rig that would run that game the way, because hell, I think it looks gorgeous playing it now. In fact, I'm playing Skyrim again. I went and put like very, very light mods on Skyrim, and I'm just playing through Skyrim and doing something different I never did before. I don't usually play like magic characters, and I'm doing that. I'm having a fucking blast, dude. And it looks good, and it never crashes, because that game's been out for 13 years, and everybody else fixed Bethesda's problems with that. So like, I have all these engine things. Like literally, I had to download a bunch of like INI files that make the game work better.
Jesus.
For Skyrim. But again, that's not to say Oblivion's not awesome. It's great. And the fact that it shadow dropped, well, it was a poorly kept secret. Everyone was like, "Hey, they're remaking Oblivion. It's coming." And then but then when it did actually happen, it was kind of nice. It was, and then I was like, well, fuck, now I'm gonna have to wait to buy it, because I just had a grandkid, so money was a little tight and whatever. But there's like, fuck, it's on PC Game Pass for now. So I was playing it the day it came out. It's a 150 gigabyte goddamn video game. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
it's a
goddamn
huge file. Now, and here's where I was going with this. So I was having a lot more trouble trying to run the game through the Xbox architecture than when I literally uninstalled it, Then I did buy it on Steam. I just like, fuck it, I'll buy it on Steam. And it works way better and it crashes less. It doesn't officially support mods, but I got a couple of mods that it took me forever because you can't just trust the most downloaded mod. You have to go and look and read things and stuff. But then I found a couple of mods that make it run a lot more stable. One of the mods is somebody who is familiar with the architecture of Unreal Engine 5, because I guess they helped make it or whatever. So they made, and it's literally just an INI file basically that makes Oblivion run better. They're fixing an engine and Bethesda's mistakes are, which I keep saying Bethesda. I can't remember the name of the company that made it, but it's a French company that actually made this game. Bethesda published it.
Okay.
But it's still good. It's just going to need some patches, but it's fun. And if I don't think you were ever super big into like fantasy open world games, but they're fun. I mean, it's fun. I think now though, the harder part in turning somebody onto a game like Oblivion, especially now, is leveling is not very intuitive. Elder Scrolls games always have a weird leveling system, and it's even worse because in today's day and age, whenever they change the leveling system or they change certain mechanics, people get pissed off. And I used to be one of these people. And you know, Wes, I'm going to go off on one of my famous tangents here. How do you feel when we were younger and we came up in Nintendo age, you watched me beat Donkey Kong Country and get furious at that game, fake difficulty here and there and all that shit. But like, the older I get, I don't see it as when somebody makes a game, here's my example. Okay. Morrowind, the leveling in that game is very archaic. If you know how to do it, you can do it right, but it's easy to manipulate and this and that. Now in Oblivion, they changed the leveling. Some people would say to make it easier. Now I'm talking in 2006 terms when that game came out, not in today's day. Back then, people were pissed because they quote unquote dumbed down the game. Then when Skyrim came out, same shit happened. Quote unquote, they've dumped down. Oh, you can't wear as much armor now. Oh, they took mysticism out. All this. How complicated does a game need to be? Because I used to, I don't know how I feel about it. Basically, I'm at odds with myself. Is it always for top dollar to make a game easier to get more people to play the game? Because I'll tell you what, Wes, I really appreciate, I could play a hard video game, but I like when I don't have to spend all of my fucking time trying to devote myself to knowing what this math is for this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So in that regard, I like that Skyrim makes things easier than Oblivion, and Oblivion made things, because if I went back to play Morrowind now, buddy, that's one thing too. If you ask anybody that didn't grow up playing Morrowind or didn't play it back then to play it now, they'll stop within an hour, because when you're sitting there trying to stick a mud crab in the first swamp, you're not hitting them, you're missing them, you're swinging at them. It's because it's an RPG, dude. It's like Dragon Warrior, but it's just 3D and in real time. You don't, even if you hit them, you don't hit them because you haven't practiced with your weapon. It's like using the red rust sword in Castlevania. You know, it sucks half the time, but you can't actually ever get better with it. But so that my tangent there on the difficulty, that's basically over. But with that being said, Oblivion has certain things about it that are clunky that they didn't really fix too much, but it's still fun. And I'm really glad that they remastered the game, but it's also kind of weird that there's no mod support, no official mod support, probably because that also has to do with Skyrim. There was a lot of fucking, I don't know if you remember all the mod controversy and shit that went on with Skyrim and Bethesda and all that. And it's still kind of, and it's there with Fallout, the Creation Club bullshit, basically.
Yeah.
And it made like modders hate each other and all kinds of shit. And then there for a while, it was hard to mod a game, like, because if it was just kind of done. And that's what sucks about these Bethesda games, is with them being so big and open world with these robust systems and stuff, their games are prone to breaking, because it's like, how long can you code or like bug test a game of that size.
Yeah.
And then they keep trying to, like Starfield, the Starfield debacle. It's like, this is the biggest game we've ever made. Well, Todd Howard is fucking famous for embellishing. It's like, yeah, I just talked to our lead game designer last night. We're up to 200 total endings on Fallout 3 is what he said. Infamously.
I wouldn't even watch that on YouTube, okay? I wouldn't watch 200 endings to a game on YouTube, right? Let alone play a game 200 times to get every ending.
Well, and that's... Game designers were like superstars back in the mid-late 2000s and shit. Now it's like everybody's like, just fucking shut up and make a game. Like, well, I mean, for real, and I know I'm going off on different shit, but okay, that game Stardew Valley? Mm-hmm. One guy made that fucking game. Yeah. Bobby Lee, the comedian, had him on his fucking podcast and was like crying because he loves that game so much and he loves this one individual that made this game so much.
Oh, shit.
Like, he wasn't treating himself like a rock star. Bobby Lee, this fucking human Muppet, was treating him like a rock star. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we need more of that instead. Because, like, I played World of Warcraft, and that whole community, we used to love those guys that made that game. And then the Cosby Suite and all this other shit comes out. And it's like, the nerds turned into the very thing we fucking never wanted to be. That's not what you do with power, man.
Yeah. Elon Musk is a perfect poster child for that. But yeah, how the nerds have turned to evil. Revenge of the Nerds.
I know,
is like that.
But it kind of just in a rudimentary way fucking makes games worse. And that's where I'm trying to go with all these different ships I'm jumping to. But I've always loved Bethesda open world games. I even like Fallout 4. It has problems. I don't really like Fallout 3 that much. New Vegas is one of the best games ever fucking made, and that may be what was it? H-Bomber guy made like a 2-hour long video about why that's the best game ever fucking made. You know what I mean? And that's and he's like a popular video essayist and just for the writing and the choices alone and things like that. So with all that being said, with all that overwhelming amount of bullshit I just spewed, Oblivion is a fun game. It's worth the money because I think it's only $50. I think it was only $49.99, which is even awesome. You're getting an Unreal 5 engine game for less than $80. And I think it still has, I'd have to look it up, but I think it's still seeing a lot of people playing it. I would play it I would be playing that still right now if my computer would just run it. I just started getting annoyed when I'd be like, because it's like, and I save enough, I'm saving all the time, but then it's like, fuck, my game crashed and I got to run it all again. Oh, I go through the cutter. Oh, then it loads. Oh. With Skyrim, I just fucking load it and it's just there. It's just boom, and it's got enough content. So
it gives you a good opportunity to sing your Oblivion song that I clipped on your Twitch.
Got a sword, got a shield, got some armor, but I'm a fighter. What do? Holy shit! Holy fuck! Oh yeah. I'd be singing some crazy shit. But what have you been playing that's been new? Have you played anything new lately, like recent or?
Just RoboCop. I mean, it's not really new. It's been out for a couple of years, but I'm starting to get into it.
I got a question about that. I told you to shoot people in the dicks. I didn't see you shoot people in the dicks very much at all.
I've been trying to shoot
them
in the
dicks. It's like the same as a headshot.
I've been trying to shoot them in the dicks.
You gotta try harder.
Sometimes they're like, "Oh, my head," or I shoot them in the head on accident, and it just explodes in a bloody mess.
Well, you know what it is? It's because you're using a controller.
Yeah,
not as precise. You gotta get that mouse action and get precise with that mouse.
Yeah, I got it on my PlayStation, and getting on that, I had that shooting range part, and that was like fucking hard on a controller because you had to get like 50 points, and I was just getting like 48 points because I just had to line it up, go before they come at me. But that was a pain in the ass.
That shit makes me laugh because every single RoboCop game I've ever played, that's a bonus stage. Literally, the arcade game, that's a bonus stage.
Yeah.
The NES game, that's a bonus stage. RoboCop 2, that's a bonus stage. Excuse me. On the arcade, I mean. I don't know about like a RoboCop 2 and then now Rogue City fucking target practice.
It's like
and they're coming out with DLC for that.
Yeah, that's why partially why I'm playing it, because I might get that DLC like full price, but since I got the game so cheap. But yeah, I've been liking it. It's more expansive than I was thinking, because it has like the dialogue choices and you like just giving people parking tickets and shit. It's like it's pretty wild how expansive that is. And you know, in the leveling up system where you can have like additional dialogue options and everything, it's really cool. I'm digging it.
Yeah, it's a fucking fun game, man. I enjoy it a lot, and it's the finally good proper RoboCop game that we've needed for a while. So. Yeah,
and that the same people made that Terminator Resistance, which I plan on picking up eventually, because I've heard good things about
that, but I did hear the RoboCop game is better than that, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, you have that one Terminator game coming out this summer too, so I'm hyped for it.
Yes, and I'm fucking boner fied for that shit. I'm ready.
But going back to like the jank and everything, with the bigger games get, the more jank I'm expecting. Not that it's excusable or anything, but yeah, it's definitely expected, especially with open world games. And
discs are literally just a file for a day one patch. Because it's like they're printing the discs and they're still working on the game. You know, it's like, well, we've got to print up 2 million of these to ship out. We're not done with the game, but fuck it, we'll just push out a patch so that when you do get it, you have to wait another hour to be able to fucking play it, And then, oh, hey, guess what? Oh, was your popular game coming out? Let's DDoS your servers just to fuck so you can't play it even more on day one or whatever. That seems to happen a lot too. Like just the whole, I don't know. We've been on that rant, but
yeah,
the state of gaming.
Well, I mean, older game consoles are increasing in price now. So with Xbox, I mean, you brought up Xbox
Jesus
Game Pass recently. So I bought this monitor here. It's like one of those curved ones here, and it's got the option to play Game Pass on the monitor, like it's built in.
That's weird.
Yeah, so
that's really weird.
I heard some LG TVs have that too now. So basically, they're just like being the Xbox console and just going
kind of, yeah.
How long before we see Game Pass on PlayStation? Like,
I mean, I'm honestly, it's like I'm tired of video game consoles. I've said that though. Like, I mean, I just don't want to buy anymore. I don't want to care about them. I don't. Video games are so normalized now. Well, maybe that's not the right word. Like, how long did it take for people to just stop saying video games were the devil? You know what I mean? Basically, is what I'm saying. And now that we're there, also with technology being the way it is and things like that, it's like, why do I need a console? Why do you need to keep making a console that you can't improve upon in any way, unless you sell another console that you're going to make me not only pay the same amount of price for, but like 25 or no, it's like, what did the PS5 Pro cost when it came out? 700 and something?
Hell, I don't know. Well, the PlayStation 5 Pro, I had like zero interest in because I'm still pretty happy with just a PS5 core, But
that's what I'm saying. But it's like, how if this was a Nintendo 64, Wes, you would have just bought a $30 expansion jumper pack that you plugged into the front of it. Now I have to buy a whole console and then it's like, that's why I'm not a fucking fanboy guy anymore. It's like, what is there to be a fanboy of? A piece of hardware that's obsolete the year after it comes out, and then you keep making the same type of game that really doesn't look better, but it's going to cost me more fucking money. You're going to patch it all to shit. You're probably going to ruin it with half those patches. I don't know if you've heard about Tekken 8, but like they fired their entire balance team because the last patch for Tekken 8 was so poorly fucking received, like no one was playing it. And that's basically the biggest competitor to Street Fighter 6 right now. It's like all these shoddy practices, and then so it's like now consoles. Just build a fucking graphics card, Sony. Build me a graphics card. Make a Sony PlayStation graphics card. Make an Xbox fucking graphics card. And if you want exclusivity, I've got to have that card. But it's still a computer, right? It's still a PC, and I can still upgrade components. Oh fuck, man! The new Armored Core came out or something. I don't have enough RAM. If I don't have enough RAM to run that game, it's like they started up. You had to upgrade your games. Like Red Dead 2 had to have an upgrade between console cycles, and now it's doing that with Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. It's like, it's just, I would rather just have a computer and then just sell your games on the computer. And honestly, I don't want exclusivity. All that shit I said about the graphics cards on, I don't know what the solution is. The solution is be less greedy, I think, but companies will never be that way. So
no. You got a bunch of suits running shit in the video game industry, and it's basically ruining it. But I mean, like you said, you were saying like it's obsolete in a year. It's not even obsolete. It's like they're still like pushing the limits of it, and then they release a pro version of it. And I'm like, what? Yeah. Like you haven't even like peaked with this yet. Hell, remember when like Xbox, the original Xbox, and that Splinter Cell game looked like an Xbox 360 game. I'm like,
no shit. Halo 2 looked that good. Halo 2 was like the first game where I figured out what bump mapping was. Like fucking, like lights reflected off of the surfaces of the textures and shit, and it produced shadow. Like, whoa, that's insane, And then it just, and they do. And when I mean obsolete, I mean it's just because some of this stuff, the technology moves so fast, but also they make it obsolete on purpose, almost. It's, and then coupled with the fact that nobody wants you to own anything you buy anymore and shit like that, it's just bad. And PC games get all that stuff anyway. The only games I can't play on a PC are Nintendo games until 2 years after the fact, and I can fucking emulate them.
Yeah.
Every single console from Nintendo has been emulated pretty much almost perfectly, and there's not really shit they can do about that. They can slam every site down, but they can't take it all. I've found it all. It's no big deal. You know what I mean? And that's another thing too. They don't use state-of-the-art technology most of the time, so it's really easy to just wait. Like, I'm one of those people. I can wait now. I didn't used to be that way, but I'll fucking wait. I don't need a Nintendo Switch 2 right now. I'll wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or I've been making do with the same PC for 7 years, and I'm still playing 2025 games on it. It literally, things started getting a little bit harder. They ran still 60 FPS or whatever in probably 2023 was but I can play Diablo 4 like 90 FPS. It looks perfect. I just lower the graphics anyway just to make it run better, to make it run my PC less harder, because baby's getting old, I don't want her to have a heart attack before I could buy another one, because when these tariffs go into effect, I think I priced out a PC for about $2,000 anyway, so that won't be bad. But and hell, and even with that, they have these like little mini Ryzen PCs for like $300. Hell, those will play some games that, like, you could play a Spider-Man game for like 30 FPS.
I got one back there, right there in the middle.
Yeah, you can, dude. If that, you could probably overclock that and play some decent video games on that shit if you really wanted to. So I don't know. It's the Xbox coming, and then oh my god, the Nintendo. We already talked about that, but the Nintendo peripherals, like the camera's $105 for that choppy 18 frame a second camera, and then your Pro controller's $85, and it was bad enough because the original was $70 when it first came out, I think, and then Joy-Cons I think are $85 or $75 or something a set. It's insane. And you know what? I don't know honestly if tariffs had anything to do with that shit, Wes.
No,
because they were probably I honestly think they were probably plotting all that. They had to have price specs before Trump got elected. They had to already be knocking that shit around. I mean, let's be honest. So because before, there's a scapegoat now, so I don't know, man. I can wait. I can fucking build a new PC that'll last me another 7 years. I can play every game on it. And hell, half the shit I play now are these goddamn 2D beat 'em up games. How much processing power I need for that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I've been playing on. I'm just on my laptop here, and I'm playing like Shredder's Revenge and Streets of Rage 4 and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and it's like,
and those are all great games.
Fine.
Those are
exactly.
Yeah, those are all great games.
But yeah, I think consoles will always be around just for the simplicity of it. Like like you said, like the mini PCs are probably helping with kind of curbing that, but there's like a simplicity of like, I got a PlayStation, I can play PlayStation games on it. And
well, I honestly think it's mostly like the younger people that want the consoles. I don't know. How you may not have this conversation very often, but like the people that you hang out with at Chicago and stuff, you talk to them. If they had their choice, would they get a console or would they get a PC? Because most people I know would rather just have a PC.
Yeah,
But we're all similarly aged, is why I make that statement.
Yeah, two of like my three main friends, two of them probably are more into PC, but one is like just mainly console, because he don't want to fuck around with the PC stuff and have to worry about updating your graphics card or, kind of finagling with, the PC shit to get a game running like he wants to. He just wants to plop in a game and play it and not have to worry about it. Which, I get the appeal of that too. I still buy PlayStation games, but I don't really have to worry about, will this run on here? Okay, how much memory is it going to take, Yeah. Because I do a bunch of other shit on my computers too, rather than just games. But it takes a lot of memory.
I wanted a Series X because I wanted to have a console that I could play Blu-ray discs on, but I could also had a gaming something, because I still have games I've purchased, because Xbox was my main console when I was buying consoles, so I still have some of my old Xbox Live Arcade games are still on there, 360 shit that they emulated forward and whatever, and then I also have a Series S in the bedroom, and I'm basically just using that as a fucking streaming service device. But I can also, if I want to, like, the only games I've legitimately bought for my Xbox was I bought Diablo 4 again just so I could play my account in the bedroom or in the living room with a controller and just sit there and fucking fat dog it,
Let's do it again. There's a brand new dance based on an old phrase. It's called a fat dog and it will amaze.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss an update. If you want to support the channel and get exclusive content, check out our Patreon in the link below.